This is my instant low-code application builder. It generates a complete business online application in minutes. All generated code has been fully tested and is easily customized in Visual Studio 2019, because this is where the system has been built. You can create parent, child and grandchild CRUD grids from an existing database table, or you can create a database table on the fly. All views, controllers and models, etc. for each grid are generated in Visual Studio. These CRUD grids, parent, child and grandchild, can be deleted instantly as well. That means all generated views, controller models for the grid are deleted. This gives you fantastic versatility in developing a web application, as you can redo grids over and over again. Thus, if you make a mistake, you can come back and do it again. Okay, I'll just show you now how you can create first a parent grid. From up in the options here, you can create a parent grid with a new table, where it's created on the fly, or you can use an existing table. For this exercise, I'll just use an existing table already created. Up comes the add parent grid with an existing table. I have one already created called person. Instantly, the fields and columns come up for that table. Person ID is primary key. We have first name as a column, and we can put in last name. The date of birth is a column, and phone. At the moment, you can only put 4 columns in. You can expand later within the code. So all we do now is generate code. You have to put in a person program name as well, called persons. And now we can generate the code. It only takes a few seconds to generate the code in the background in Visual Studio, creating all views, controllers and models and all other business C# code. Is being generated successfully. And what we do now is go back to Visual Studio, exit the browser and rebuild. Okay, we are now back in Visual Studio 2019, and I'll just show you the code that's being generated. In controllers, we can see the person's controller and the models. Down the bottom, person's view model. Keep going down and you can see views, and you can see at home, and you can see the persons. That's all the views that's been created automatically. And down the bottom we also have business language code, C# already been built. So that's already done. So all we do now is we just do F5 and see what's been produced. Okay, let's go. Okay, we are back in the browser, and up the top we can see persons, the parent grid, and we just click on that, and up come a grid of persons. I already have some records already in there. So once again, it's got all the functionality of a CRUD. Edit, where you can edit the record, you can put in a new record, you can delete a record. It's got searching, advanced searching, search on a name, brings up just the B's last name, reset, go back. It does sorting, and you can change the number of records on a page as well. So that's all inbuilt. You can also create a PDF as well. That code's already in there. That code can be customized within Visual Studio. So I'll just show you the PDF that's created. And there it is there. You can change the layout, put different headers in the code. And you can create a spreadsheet as well of the records. Okay, now from within this grid, parent grid, we can now create a child grid. And to do this, we can click on detail or on the plus sign, which creates tabs. So we just do for detail. When you click on detail, you can show another pop-up showing adding a new child. Now you can use an existing table, or you can create a new table on the fly of the child. In this case, I'll just use an existing table. And up comes the add child grid using an existing table. I already have one in there called bank. which is associated with persons, and once again we've got the primary key, bank ID, and we just put in the actual column fields, phone of the table. The field character types are automatically checked and changed in the code. We've got to put in a unique program name, put in banks, and then we just generate the code with the button, and it only takes a few seconds to generate all the views and controllers and models and business C# code in Visual Studio, and there it's been built. And once again we're back to this screen which says exit browser and reload. So all we have to do is exit the browser, go back to Visual Studio, and I'll show you the code of the child that's been created. Okay, I'm back in Visual Studio 2019, and I'll just show you the child code that's been generated. First of all, I'll show you the controllers, and there's banks controller and models, and there's the banks model. Just keep going down to the views, and we can see the banks, all the bank views for the child, and of course down the bottom we have banks business language C# code. So it all seems to be in there. And now all we have to do is do another F5, and we'll just check in the browser that the child is there and check all the code and make sure it all works. Okay, back in the browser, now you can see the parent grid persons again. Now we'll just check if the child is there. We click on detail, and up come the banks, and there's the child grid. I've got a couple of records already in there. So once again, it's got the credibility and everything that's required for a record for a table. And we can edit the persons and go back. We can also see it with another angle through tabs, and there we have the child grid. No problems. We just go back, cancel. And now I'll just show you creating a grandchild, just to show that it works. So we go into detail, and up comes the new grandchild. We'll just select account. That's another table associated with bank, and we've got account type, account name, start and balance, and it's all good. And we just put in accounts, program name, generate code, and it only takes a few seconds to create the grandchild, and I'll show you straight away what it looks like. I won't go back to Visual Studio now, I'll just show you what we've got. Okay, back in the person's grid, child, now we're going to check the grandchild. Okay, we have ANZ Bank and bank, and we go down and we can see the grandchild accounts. Detail has all, you can edit, do the same thing for grandchild, and we can go back instantly to the child and back to the parent. Once again, we can do it through the tab way, and there's the grandchild, and we can edit and go back. So that's the parent, child and grandchild demonstration. What I'll do now, I'll just show you quickly how we can delete a grid really quickly. So this is a grandchild, so I can delete this grid instantly out of the Visual Studio, and all the code we deleted. So we just click on delete button, and it'll delete counts. What we can do is delete just the code only, but we could delete the table as well as the code. In this instance, we just delete the code, and I'll delete the accounts code, and it's pretty done pretty quickly. And we just go back, and I'll just show you in Visual Studio. Okay, I'm back in Visual Studio, and you can see that the account controller is gone, and also the models counts is gone, and the views, the accounts are gone. I'll just show you deleting a child as well, just to prove that all the code is gone. In this case, we're going to delete bank, so we'll just prove that all that code will disappear. Now I'll just go back into the browser, and we'll do the deletion of the child. Okay, back in the browser in the parent grid, and I'll just show you there's the bank child, and I'll just show you that the grandchild disappeared. It's gone now. So we just go back, and I'll just show you deleting a child. Same thing, we just delete the child, the left tab, and you can delete the table or just delete the code. We just delete the code, and it does it instantly. And I'll go back, and I'll show you the bank's code being deleted in Visual Studio. Okay, back in Visual Studio and controllers, you can see the banks are gone. In the models, there's no banks, and the views, the banks views are gone. And similarly down the bottom, the business language code C# has gone as well as just persons there, That's the parent one. So you can see it's very versatile, this system, in creating a web application. You can delete, add grids, child, grandchild grids, and you can put in more than one child grid and add and delete at will, and you can even create a table on the fly as well. Okay, I'll just show you that a bit later.